Hey everybody, this is Perch, and this viewer mail is not going to go in the direction you think it's going to go. But I think it brings a good point. It kind of continues to reinforce the challenges with the superhero universes as have been built up in the Marvel and the DC worlds. When you're dealing with trying to tackle environmental or social issues in the real world inside of these comics, it's tough to do, and increasingly it raises questions that just are hard to answer. And so let's get into it. It says, "Hey Perch, I was looking at the DC comics for the week, and it turns out that this year's Pride Month comic comes out this week. I got to thinking how weird it is to have realistic portrayal transgender characters in the context of Marvel and DC universes when it's possible to change your gender through mad science. I am reminded of the Captain America arc where Superia placed Cap and Paladin. I remember that arc. Anyway, into a tube that would turn them into women. Of course, they broke out before they were transformed, but the technology exists in the Marvel Universe. Why doesn't Superia offer people the transition into women they dream of being in the tube in exchange for working as henchmen for her? For that matter, why isn't Superia just go into business as a change your gender whenever you want via my magic tube and pay me a ton of money to do it, probably get some government grants, and could be a giant tech mogul. I mean, why do crime at all? I think you can make more money just doing legit science gender transformations. But anyway, if we continue, if Superman can turn Lois Lane black, why couldn't he use it to turn Jimmy into a woman? I could swear we've seen Jimmy as a woman, actually, at some point. I think one of the Silver Age comics did exactly that. It's happened before. There's been the characters are now women. It's happened via crazy science or villain gender ray or all, I mean this has happened before in both universes many times. Anyway, I remember reading Immortal Hulk and having the trans character talking about taking hormones to transition and thinking it couldn't be that hard for a woman that hangs out with the Hulk to go get hold of Superior's tubes. That doesn't sound quite right, but no, you are correct. I get how they want to have transgender characters, but can Marvel and DC have them transition in ways that make sense for the universes where mad science is rampant? Sorry if this mail's a little unorganized. No, it's not unorganized, and it's true. Look, and this is the challenge. So what the comics want to do is they want to touch on real life issues, but it doesn't make sense in a cosmic universe, in a multiverse, both companies where people change gender. I mean, as point, Lois is able. Superman's got a machine that can turn Lois black. Like he can change races, he can change gender. Like this. There's plenty of technology out there to do it. And for that matter, if Superior can do this, can't Moon Girl? Can't Reed Richards? I mean, I'm back to why is Moon Girl such a horrible bigot? She can't cure AIDS. She can't help out with the transgender community. What's going on here? And it's not even so you do start to wonder. This is where it's the uncanny valley of thinking. I don't know, but when these pride issues come out and you get these stories about transgender characters and the struggles they went through, I remember thinking the same thing in Immortal Hulk, where this character is talking about their struggle of taking hormones and all the rest. And you're like, yeah, except this universe solves that problem. It has solved that problem like 30, 40 years ago, has solved this problem. It's out there. Now, the argument is, hey, well, if supervillains have it, that doesn't mean it's available to the mass population or the mass public. But not one of the Marvel heroes or the people, like, what's Hank Pym doing? What's Blue Marvel doing? What is Reed Richards doing? What's Tony Stark doing? I mean, we've established that at least a few of these characters are businessmen, and they are willing to, they like, bringing science to help. Yet, the side guy, none of these people care about the transgender community. I guess that's what it is, which makes you wonder. Then why are the writers of these comics, the Dan Slott's, Al Ewing's, for Hulk and for Fantastic Four, why are they such bigots that they cannot have their characters go out there? Why isn't Christopher Cantwell? He's too busy wasting pages of having Hellcat shout at Iron Man, but he's apparently, doesn't have enough time to actually positively solve transgender challenges in the Marvel universe. I don't know. I mean, if Superman has in the Fortress of Solitude machines that can turn people black and change genders and other things, and Superboy has access to it, then I've got to ask Tom Taylor, why isn't Tom Taylor, again, helping out the transgender community a little bit? I'm just saying he can write that into his story very, very easily. But again, I'm doing a little tongue in cheek. I mean, the point, of course, is that they want to be able to reflect on the real life challenges, and I get that. I get that you want to represent that audience and you want to have something that they can relate to, but maybe, and this is a crazy thought, maybe the Marvel and DC universes are not meant to be fully relatable. You've got superheroes, you've got multiversal dimensions, you have gigantic cosmic attacks that happen on a semi-regular basis that transforms the whole planet. You've got Krakoa out there. I mean, here's another question. Transgender characters on Krakoa. We've established that the characters can die and then be created. And we've also established that they could change their form during the recreation. That happened with Destiny, where they brought somebody back younger and they could do things where they actually changed the makeup of the X-Men characters that are bringing back to life. So why is there a transgender mutant on Krakoa that's taking hormone pills and everything? Hang on, why? Yeah, I mean they've fully established this island, this science. They've established that there's an arena pit where people basically go and murder themselves so they can be reborn. This is part of the lore of the whole island. And we know that several, not several, but there's writers that are, lesbian or, non-binary. And why don't those issues come out, no pun intended, on Krakoa? Like, they're the writers. They care about these issues. They talk about it endlessly on Twitter. Why not represent that in the comic? Why? And I'm sure, yeah, it's that they want to portray the real world and they want to have that relation, but it doesn't make sense. It's not relatable. In a place where you have a multi-dimensional teleporter that can take you anywhere in the galaxy, sitting somewhere in Brooklyn, is that very Yancey Street? Anyway, I'm losing my Fantastic Four cred card. Somebody's going to come out. It's like, it's in Queens, you jackass. Anyway, but I mean, if you've got all this kind of technology and you've got people who are super smart wandering around, I mean, Moon Girl is busy creating rocket roller skates and other pieces, and they can't have her, solve some of these problems. Feels like that would be a good school project. But if they do that, of course, then it's not relatable to that community and it breaks down. But this is where I don't think you can have your cake and eat it too, or you have to just believe that your audience is, suspends their disbelief. And you basically telling the audience, hey, we want you to, be really tuned in to hyper realism in the comics, today. But then tomorrow, go ahead and, expand your mind and let fantasy take over. And maybe this is one of the reasons why comics are struggling with big cosmic ideas and kind of big events, things that go beyond the mundane, is because they've spent so much time introducing us to situations that are relatable, in our current world, like transgender rights, like the environment. As I mentioned before on videos, the environmental, the DC or Marvel universe should not have any environmental problems. The technology and powers exist to solve all of this. They should also not be having hunger. There was an X-Men book, Hunger for Heroes or Heroes for Hunger. Anyway, it was a while back, and it was a jam of a bunch of different creators. I mean, Bill Sienkiewicz was there. I mean, Stephen King did something there. I think Art Adams did a page. There's a bunch of stuff. And it was, Claremont attempted to reconcile, and the writers, why you have these characters like Storm who's got weather powers. Why is there famine and why is there lack of food in countries like that? They attempted to at least give a reason for that. And it was a solid enough job. But generally, they were smart enough back then to not steer too much into these issues, because invariably it would make no sense if you really thought about it long enough. But anyway, kind of a funny question. Thank you very much for it. A little silliness in the morning never hurts anything. But yeah, why? I absolutely. I mean, there would be no more pride issues because everybody would just take care of things with science and you'd be all done. And then you couldn't sell those comics. But I'm joking. I'm joking. But it does represent an interesting way of looking at things. Anyway, thank you for the question. A little bit fun, and thanks for listening.